Are you a fan of Alco locomotives and wonder what it was like in the early years of the Burlington Northern merger? That would be the early 1970s. Hi, this is Burr Stewart, and I have a model railroad here that tries to model the Seattle region of the Burlington Northern in around 1973-ish. And we had an operating session last weekend where we ran a few trains, and I was too busy running them myself to take much in the way of video footage, but I did catch two really interesting trains, so I thought I would show them to you in this relatively short but interesting run-through of two trains. So here we go. Both of these trains are running north and south. The first one here with the Southern Pacific engine is returning from Vancouver, British Columbia, and heading all the way to California, and it's called the GWS, which stands for Great Northern, Western Pacific, and Santa Fe. Now, why it would have a Southern Pacific engine on it is really just the error from a previous operating session. Isn't that Alco C-636 a beauty? Because the run-throughs for the Southern Pacific would have been going to Portland and not to the inside gateway, which was what the GWS and SWG trains did. Sorry for all the jargon. Train 137. So now, a little while later, we were running the northbound SWG, which again stands for Santa Fe, Western Pacific, and Great Northern. And in this case, we had a really beautiful SP&S Alco C-425 on the head end of this long freight train. And I was running the train and trying to take the video, so that's why this is a little bit shaky, but I did my best, and also with the focus. I did at least blow for the grade crossing. Eventually I turned that annoying bell sound off. Now this is your typical mix of freight cars that would have been included in that northbound train. It had stopped at the Interbay Yard in Seattle, picked up a few cars that were billed to go north, and then the yardmaster there completed the train with a new caboose and a new set of locomotives, and this is the resulting train. A few minutes later, it's coming along the Puget Sound seawall in between Mukilteo and Everett, the port of Everett, at the Everett Bayside Yard. You've seen this in many of my other shots, and you can anticipate that we're about to cross over the Squid Bridge, and then after that you'll hear a little squealing sound from the ISE squealers. That's the long train stretched out along the main line there. In this case, it's called the Lowline because it stayed low going from Everett Junction around to the port facilities at the Port of Everett. There's the Squid Bridge. You see that squid there? Chasing down a couple in the rowboat with their children on the shore. And a guy in a log tender worrying about it. So after we dropped off some cars in Everett and picked up some cars that were destined for Vancouver, we headed north across the Stillaguamish River. And there's your railfan shot of the Alco 425. Oh, the sounds of the diesel engines are really fun. You can hear it in stereo. And that's a very nice subtle weathering job on that Southern Pacific boxcar. Nice. We're passing now the Mount Vernon station, and the train is going across the Skagit River Bridge towards the Mount Vernon yard. And that's about what I have for you today. I noticed just as we were taking this that there was a switcher operating down in the Argo yard right underneath us, right at the same speed. Isn't that cool? So if you want to see other action like this, check out the rest of my channel. And for now, this is Burr Stewart. Hope you enjoyed this and wishing you much fun with trains.